What's going on, guys? So today we are going to be comparing the two weapons from the Voltaglass and Crotazen raid, and this is going to be the Vision of Confluence and the Fang of Ir Yût. So to start off, we're just going to take a look at both guns individually, and then we'll get into a review a bit later. So starting off here, we have the Vision of Confluence. Now this weapon can be fired in full auto mode, and it has a slightly faster fire rate than the Fang of Ir Yût. In its middle skill tree, it gets 3 skills, which are a single point sling, which allows you to switch your weapons faster. This can be pretty useful. It also gets perfect balance, which is the one that I use most of the time, which just increases its decreases its recoil even more. And then the last one is Field Scout, which bumps the reserve ammo and also the clip from 19 to 27. The last two perks are called Zen Moment and Oracle Disruptor. Now Zen Moment increases your stability when causing damage. Now Oracle Disruptor can be found on pretty much every single Voltaglass weapon, and it just increases damage done to oracles. So that was just an overview of the Vision of Confluence, and next we're going to be looking at the Fang of Ir Yût. Okay, so if we look at the Fang of Ir Yût skill tree, the first tree, well, other than the sights, we have spray and play and also target mark. Now I'm going to be getting into showing the target mark later, but spray and play just allows you to boost the reload speed when your magazine's empty. But target mark briefly marks the target, and I'm going to demo that a bit later. Now in the next tree we have 3 skills, and similar to the Vision of Confluence, the bottom 2 are Perfect Balance and Field Scout. So the other one is called High Caliber Rounds, and this leaves targets reeling, and it just means basically that it hits a lot harder and enemies get pushed back harder. And the last 2 perks for the Fang of Ir Yût are Third Eye and Hive Disruptor. Now Third Eye makes it you have an active radar while aiming down your sights, and Hive Disruptor can be found on basically all of the Crotazen weapons, and it allows you to do more damage to Hive Majors, which is amazing. Okay guys, so here's where the real review starts. I have the damage statistics for both the Fang of Ir Yût and the Vision of Confluence. Now if we look at it, the Fang has a body shot of 340, while the Vision has a body shot of 297, so that's a pretty big difference, I'd say. And you have to keep in mind that the Fang of Ir Yût is at 331 base damage, while the Vision of Confluence is only at 300. Now the headshot modifier on the Fang of Ir Yût is 1019, while the Vision is only still at 890. That's a big difference there. The Fang of Ir Yût has a mag size of 15 without the Field Scout, and it empties that mag in about 5.5 seconds. This accumulates a total DPS of around 2,779 damage per second. Now for the Vision of Confluence, it has a mag size of 19, upgradable to 27 with Field Scout, but it empties that 19 round clip in 6.3 seconds and accumulates a total DPS of 2,684. So you might just look at this and say, wow, well I guess the Fang of Ir Yût's better then, I guess I have to use that. Well, the truth is not everything really lies here, and especially because the base damage is way higher on the Fang of Ir Yût, that is definitely inflating its statistics, and the Vision of Confluence may well just be as high or even higher if it was at base 331 attack. Also keep in mind that this is done through a test of tier 1 enemies, and of course this is 100% headshot accuracy, which means that if you take all of those 15 rounds in your clip of Fang of Ir Yût and you hit a headshot every single time, that's how much damage you'll be dealing per second. Alright, let's switch gears here, and we're going to go over to the PvP side of things. So as we all know, base damages don't matter in PvP, it's all about raw damage per second. But it's also about preference and what you like better. Some people like high rate of fire, low impact auto rifles, others like the opposite. It's the same thing with scout rifles. But the Vision of Confluence and the Fang of Ir Yût are very, very similar in terms of their fire rate, impact, range, and even reload speed. So it just comes down to your preference, but we're going to be talking about the strengths of each one of these and what they're good for. So if we look at both the guns, they're basically virtually identical. The only thing that is different between them is the range and the stability. So the Fang of Ir Yût has more range than the Vision of Confluence, and the Vision of Confluence has more stability than the Fang. So looking at this, the Vision of Confluence also has a faster fire rate, so I assume that the Fang of Ir Yût is supposed to be used more as a long-range scout rifle, while the Vision of Confluence is supposed to be used as a short-range scout rifle. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. So if we look at the stats for the weapons in PvP, we can see that they have exactly the same damage. But while they have exactly the same damage, their DPS, or damage per second, is not the same. And that's because the Vision of Confluence fires faster. So this is pretty alarming actually, although it's not too much of a difference. Rather than doing 180 damage per second, you're doing 160. But this can really make a difference compared to some of those weapons like Last Word or Suros or Vex Mythoclast. So if you want to be competitive in the Crucible, I would highly suggest the Vision of Confluence over the Fang of Ir Yût. Now this shows a lot more just than the PvP statistics. It also kind of just shows that how powerful the Vision of Confluence really is and how much of a difference that 331 attack will make, making the Fang a better weapon. Although the Fang isn't a bad weapon and it's actually really good on Arcburn Nightfalls, it is weaker than the Vision of Confluence, and that's just because of its impact and its lower fire rate. If I were to finish off this review right now, which I will be telling you that the Vision of Confluence is a better scout rifle than the Fang of Ir Yût. Although the Fang of Ir Yût is still really good, and I really do like it. Oh yeah, and also here's that target mark thing I was talking about. Yeah, as you can see here, see that little green cone above an enemy's head? That's the mark there. And it's actually pretty useless. If they made it so you could see enemies through a wall and it lasted for around 20 seconds, I could see this being really useful in Crota's End. But since it doesn't, it's not useful. Which is one of the reasons why, although the Fang does less damage than the Vision of Confluence, it could have been better if only the target mark was better. Alright, that's it, and thanks for watching, guys. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.